Hey kids, welcome back to String Cheese and Applesauce, where today we are doing a disassembling, sorting, and storing of our pieces. Now, as you see in a lot of my videos, I build a lot of sets, drop tests, do a lot of reviews. Well, the question is, what do you do with all those sets after you've done building them? That's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna disassemble them. I'm gonna show you how I sort them and store the pieces so they can be used in other builds, my own creations, or what they call mocks, M-O-C, mock. So the first thing I normally do is I find all the minifigures and their accessories and I keep them intact. I normally don't take them apart. I've seen some people, they like to disassemble the minifigures and sort them and keep them, disassembled so they can make their own minifigures. I personally like to keep my minifigures the way they came in the set. It's kind of a, kind of a collectible thing. I respect the detail that goes into putting together a minifigure with all the unique printing and everything, so I like to keep them the way they came. Now, if I get multiples of them, that's a different story. But for the most part, I like to keep them the way they are. So most of these sets here, all the figures have already been pulled out, so I just had 3 left in there. So let me show you what. Taking my mic off real quick. Let me grab something and show you. So what I started doing was actually starting to stack them. See, I've got this little rack of all these minifigures. I need a good display case or some way to store them, to display them. I've actually found some online. I'm just a little hesitant to make the purchase yet because with as many minifigures as I have, it'll add up. But to be honest with you, it's a good way to display them. And you can pull them out and play with them at any time. But right now, like I said, you can see they're all intact. And this is just a fraction of a fraction of the amount of minifigures I have. I think if I look at my Bricklink database, I have over 1,000 minifigures. Over 1,000 unique minifigures. I have a lot of duplicates. Some sets, like the Lego movie sets, come with a lot of the same figures in different sets. So they may not necessarily be unique figures, but it counts towards the quantity. So as we start here, we're more or less just disassembling these pieces. And I'm going to explain to you what I'm doing. Kind of as we get a little further along, but and I'm going to have to take the camera too and show you where I store all my pieces as well. But normally what I do is I sort them by size and or type, meaning mostly all Lego system bricks and plates that are real big get their own pile. So that's kind of what's going on right over here. The small Lego system piece, so like, the little studs or the modified plates or anything that's like a 1x1 cone or anything smaller than a 1x4. So you can see over here I have a 1x4 tile. And then over here, if it's a 1x3, I'll put it over here. Same with plates. So these are the small pieces. So my sorting system is usually just kind of generic sorting first. So I put big pieces in the big spots, and then the smaller pieces go in smaller, you know, their own pile, and then the other piles I have are, I put the wheels in their own pile. I put Technic connectors in one pile, Technic axles in another pile, and then Technic pins in another pile. So there's a little bit more defined Technic piles, mostly because the Technic pieces are so small that if you just put Technic in general all together, you're going to spend hours just sorting all that Technic stuff. So I kind of pre-sort the Technic. And when we look at my storage trays where I keep everything, you'll kind of see why I do that, because there is a large amount of Technic pieces. So like I said, this is the easiest way that I found sorting my pieces. I don't sort by color or store by color. I store by part type. I find it's easier to find the color I'm looking for in the exact part bin than it is to try to find, you know, if you're looking for a 1x2 plate, one of these little things, in a whole bucket of light bluish gray, and it's, say it's like the last one in there, man, it could take you all day just to find that part. But if you have a whole bin of just 1x2 plates with all the different colors, it's a lot easier to find a color because they stand out. There's a lot of contrast with all the other colors. They'll actually stand out, and you'll be able to find that piece almost instantly. I mean, it's just super fast to find them. So that's why I sort by part type, or what do they call it? What do those Bricklink sellers call it? Like part ID number. Just a lot easier to find. So I'm getting all my wheels disassembled. Like I said, I put them off to the side. There's a little pile going on right over here of just wheels. And I have a lot of bins that we'll look at that has all of our wheels in it. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and continue to disassemble these sets. Basically going to stop the video where you see it now, and whenever it resumes, which will be instantaneously for you, it's like you never even left. But I'm just going to continue to do what I'm doing here. You know, I've already discussed how I'm generically sorting everything, and then I'll start recording again, and you'll be able to see kind of what I do next, and then what the next steps are from here. So here we go. It's like gonna be time travel. It's gonna be time travel for you, but I'm gonna be doing all the work. So here we go. Okay, so we've got all the pieces separated. You can see all these big piles. This is only 3 sets. 3 sets. 2 of them are big sets, or I guess medium to big sets. One of them's kind of small. But here's what I did. I've got them sub sorted, kind of by generic pieces. So I've got big bricks, small bricks. I've got Technic pins, Technic connectors, kind of off camera. It's right about here. I've got Technic bricks and lift arms in a pile over here. And then I've got Technic axles right there. And then right off the camera over here, we've got an assortment of wheels and tires that go in their own spot. So once I have them sub-sorted here, I put them in containers, which we'll do right now, and then we move them into the storage area that I have all my storage containers. So I basically have recycled salsa containers, or peanut containers. I forget what this was, but basically food containers that have been thrown in the dishwasher and cleaned, I use for storing pieces. So I'm going to get all of them put in their appropriate container, like you see here. So I got my axles put in there. Here's the Technic pins and bushings, and I'm just gonna slide them. Just put the lid on them. Oh, what's next? Technic connectors. Just connectors and gears. All right. And then I have a container here for all of the small Lego pieces. So I'll just slide all these in there. All right, that's done. And I have a bigger container. See how big this one is? A big container of all Technic lift arms and bricks. This one is almost full. I'm gonna have to sort all these pieces. So usually when these containers fill up, because I'll take apart sets periodically when I need to make room for new sets, and then I'll sort them like we're doing today. And then when these fill up, I'll take it to the next step, which we'll look at in a minute, and put them all away where they go. So the last one is all these big system bricks. So I have a Sterilite container here, big container. See when I bust it open here, see it's got a lot of bricks in it. So we'll just drop them in there. It's that easy. Since these are mostly all the big pieces, it's pretty easy to put them away once we get to the next step, because they're easy to pull out. All right, so that, and then the wheels, we'll show you that in the next area. I don't actually put them in a container right now. They go from here straight to the storage container. So let's go ahead and look at where they go after this step, which is their final sorting spot. So here we go. Okay, so here we are in the storage area, one of the rooms in my house that I store all my Lego. Basically what I have is more of these leftover food containers that have pieces sorted in them, and these are real big pieces. So you can see here is wheels, like wagon wheels in various sizes. We've got big panels. We've got big 1x bricks, some fence and ladder pieces. We've got wheel fenders. Another thing of panels. These are like rock formation panels. You've got what I call airplane or ship pieces. Doors and windows. Wall panels and other various panels. Windscreens, all different colors. We've got curved bricks or slopes, curved sloped bricks. Got barrels and buckets, boxes. We've got 2x bricks in here. This is all assortment of medium to small wheels. And then here's some mech bionicle type pieces that I need to actually resort into something a little bit more structured than just this. So here's the wheels that we disassembled earlier, and then I have this real big container here. Go ahead and open it. You can see it's got all the bigger wheels in there and some other various pieces. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw those in there. You can see I've got one of these Star Wars planets, a couple tractor shovels from some Technic sets, a couple battery boxes. So we'll close that. We're done with that. And I'll put the smaller wheels in here. Put this down so I can open it. All right, so got it open. There's all the wheels we took apart. In they go. And there you go. So this is basically the large stuff. Now all the smaller pieces, I have an assortment of these Stanley organizer containers. They call them professional deep organizers. There's 2 sizes, and I keep them all under this bed. Believe it or not, they all fit under there, and I'm going to pull them out in a minute and I'll show you everything. But what I like about them is they lock shut. You can actually hold them up, and the pieces that are in there, if I tip this upside down, they don't come out of their trays. So when I open it, you can see all the pieces are sorted like we were talking about earlier. So in here, I've got all these bricks with the little grooves on the side. Here, I've got 2x2 tiles. You can see all my trans studs there. I've got arches, bigger arches, little dome pieces, and then some of these I guess hull pieces, and then the top parts. So all of these under here, right under there, let me go ahead and pull them out and show you kind of the various different sizes. Okay, so this is everything that was under that bed. Well, except for these Sterilite containers. These were actually in a closet that I remembered I needed to show you too. So all of everything, all these black and yellow things you see were all under the bed. So in these Sterilite containers, let me just show you these real quick before we get too far along. It's basically all the big pieces that are hard to put in, you know, the the food containers or the individual compartment things. So you can see here we got boat pieces, train tracks, various other big pieces. This one right here is actually all plates, and I keep them in baggies, and they're sorted by size. So every single one of these bags has its own type of plate in it. You see some of them are more full than others. And like I said before, I keep all of the colors mixed together. It's all based on the part, not the color. So let's look at these individual containers. And something that's cool that I don't know if I showed you earlier was that these do come out. So if I'm working on something and I'm building and I need, say, a bunch of these pieces, I can actually just take it out and take it with me and go and build with it, and then come back, put them back in there. The other thing that's cool about it is you can actually rearrange them. You can see I can pull them out and these move around. And as long as you get the same, you know, see as I move these around and then put the bigger ones in there. So these containers are really, really cool. So in here, basically all I have is all of my sloped bricks. So, you know, all the 2x2 slopes here, 2x2 by 3 slopes, all the colors. Got these little slope pieces, 1x2, 1x3. So that, and you'll notice that I try to keep them by kind of by part similarity. It's kind of hard to do on a lot of stuff, but for the most part it's similar type. So for example, in here I've got my 1x2 tiles, got 1x4 tiles, 1x6 tiles, and then larger tiles. I've got bricks with studs on the sides. These are all of the just 1x1 studs. And then these are a mixture of 1x1 and 1x2 cheese slopes. So like I said, once you know, like I'm looking for a light bluish gray 1x1 cheese slope, you can usually find it pretty easily. In here, I've got an assortment of bricks, and you can see some of them are empty because as I fill these up, you know, if this bin fills up, what I have to do is then find a food container to put it in, or start to sub-sort them into other ones. So that's kind of when I'll buy like 1 or 2 more of these. And so there may be some empty ones. I basically got a lot of foliage up here, some bricks. That one's the one we already showed you. Now here's another one that's actually, if you look, see if I can show you this. See how this one is shorter than that one? It's actually a smaller one, and I have about an equal assortment of both sizes. But the smaller one, you can see there's a lot more containers in it. It's almost like a bead tray type of setup. But you can put, you know, really the small specialized pieces. So in here I've got printed tiles, the new corner tile, jumper plates, grills, we've got panels, we've got some smaller trans clear stuff, and we've got a cat over there deciding to play when I'm making a video. Dex! Alright, so if you hear a little electronic bird, that's the cat playing. So the smaller ones are nice too, and same thing, you can take them out, rearrange these containers. So they all come with a set number of compartments, and I've actually moved. You'll see some of them have like a bunch more of the small ones in it. That's because I've mixed and matched from other ones just to keep the part type similar. So we've got bars, teeth, flags, dishes, or satellite dishes, not food dishes. Some what I call fire elements. So you can get real specialized with the sorting of it. Here's modified plates, bigger ones, smaller ones, good assortment. These are all collectible minifigure stands. This is one of my newer ones, so you can see there's not much in it, but what I've started to do is put minifigure food and various accessories, some horses, dolphins. So this is going to fill up the more I go through and sort out the minifigure pieces. And then you can see the difference between a newer one and the one that's being used for a while. So like I said, as these fill up, this one's pretty full right here. It's going to probably have to move into one of these bigger containers to fit all the pieces. And then, you know, when you get new pieces, like the little 1x1 stud with a hole in it, you can see there's not many pieces in those. Here's another new one. So just starting to, you know, like I said, as new pieces come in or pieces, see there's a new piece. Just various different things. You know, like I've accumulated a lot of these, you know, just flower shaped studs. So they've started to get their own little bin. And this is an assortment of flowers from a pick a brick day. There's a newer piece that we're starting to see a lot more of. So you can see the new containers have less. And then here's more modified plates. I'm gonna speed through these real quick. I feel we're taking a long time just looking at them. Plates. See, if these tip over, I don't care. They're gonna remain. See the way the lid, see there's the little grooves in here, and that's on the inside. So it interlocks these containers in. So if, like I said, if they tump all the way over, no pieces are gonna come out of their appropriate bins. These are about, for the big ones, I think they're about $24, and the smaller ones about $20. You can consistently find them on Amazon for about 30 to 40% off. So on average, each one of these costs, in reality, about $12 to $14, depending on the size that you get. But it's an investment well worth it. I mean, I didn't get all of these at once. You know, I usually order like 2 at a time over, you know, maybe a 2-month period. Well, not even that much. Maybe every 6 months I may order 2. So it's not that big of an investment. So in these Sterilite containers, you can see this one is all Technic panels. Every size, shape, color. And then here's minifigures. So like I said before, I need to find a good way to display and keep those. I found a couple more of these food containers with some more bricks in it. So like I said, these are what, when the parts outgrow these, they get their own food container. One other little thing I want to show you is I've got these bead trays. I have 3 bead trays right here. And the bead trays are just full, not full, but it's where the minifigure, this particular one is weapons and headpieces and body armor. So it's basically minifigure accessories. This one has assortment of guns, hand pieces, lightsaber pieces. So if they're not, I mean, there's a lot of this little minifigure. So minifigure one, you can see a lot of these minifigures are still holding on to their weapons or whatever that came with the set. But if I ever have extras or take them off, this is where they go. So here's more various minifigure accessories and or small animals, bugs, spiders. These need to be, this last one I need to kind of clean out because I started to put some of them in one of these that has some of those minifigures. Okay, so this last little pile here is just Technic stuff. As you can see in here, it's all Technic lift arms. Now I'm a huge fan of Technic, so I have a lot more Technic sets than probably younger kids do. So I just have a huge assortment. I mean, look at this. This is one of the biggest bins that you can get in these boxes, and it's full of black Technic pins. And then these are the blue 3 long friction pins. So I'm gonna speed through this real quick. You know, thin lift arms, axles, various assortment. This whole thing is gears and any type of steering elements, like right there. A whole bunch of gears. We've got smaller pins, connectors, bushings. So you can see that's why when I was doing my sub sorting that I was pulling all the Technic stuff out, because I've got these 6 or 7 containers that is just Technic related. So it helps me a ton when I come in here to actually put them where they belong, that they're already sub sorted. So I can just have these 7 containers out and just go ahead and put all the Technic stuff away and leave all the others back under there where they belong. So that's it. So everything that I took apart, it's basically gonna come in here. I'm gonna go through each container that is sub sorted, since I have these all basically by similar type, and put them away. So I'm not going to show you any of that. That's the boring part, but you can see that's basically my sorting and storage system. So thanks for watching. Make sure to thumbs up if you like what you saw. Share how you sort and store things. You know, maybe I'm doing something that could be better, or maybe you know, like what you saw, and you know, just comment. Let me know if you have a better solution. What I am looking for is a solution for my minifigures. How do you guys store your minifigures, or how do you display them? I want a good display case that's maybe dust free. So that's what I'm looking for next. How do you do your minifigures? So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.